To continue with our coverage to the Paris International Conference on Libya, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Ambassador Mohamed Al Oraby, former Foreign Minister. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Thank you, sir. I'm fine. Sir, we are speaking about a very important gathering, the Paris International Conference. We are watching now the arrival of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the Paris International Conference. And here we are watching French President Emmanuel Macron welcoming President al-Sisi, who arrived earlier in the French capital. Sir, we are following up the arrival of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the head of state, to the Paris International Conference, as he was received by his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron.
Country. Egypt always.
Ambassador Oraby? Ambassador Oraby, hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, we were watching together the arrival of the president, and of course, as you know, the president was invited by his French counterpart to participate in the Paris International Conference. The timing is very important, just a few weeks ahead of the elections due on December 24th. This is a very critical period in the modern history of Libya in general. How do you see the importance of holding the elections on time and on the other side of the coin to take firm decisions regarding those who are supplying militants inside Libya and to exit or to kick out all of those militias or mercenaries from the Libyan soil?
The conference itself is a very important step to fulfill sort of a comprehensive solution to this crisis. And I think the international community now is determined to reach a sort of agreement and, of course, to ask everybody to comply with the results of this conference. As you know, Egypt always plays a pivotal role in all these regional crises in our region. And of course, Libya is one of these important issues because it is part of our national security. And I think everybody should expect that the Egyptian participation, it will be vital and important. And Egypt, used to even present a sort of roadmap how to reach a sort of agreement between the Libyan institutions. And I think this might be, as you said, the last chance for the international community in order to put a roadmap for the Libyans in order to reach a peaceful and comprehensive and lasting solution for the crisis there. And as you just mentioned, we have, and we should even expect some challenges and obstacles in order to fulfill the results of this conference. As you just mentioned, that the mercenaries and the terrorist groups who are dispatched by some regional country, I think all of them, they should be kicked out of the Libyan territory, and this will be the guarantee to have fulfillment for all the results of this conference.
Not only that, if you permit me to add to what you've kindly said, sir, also to take firm stances against those countries who are fueling the sectarian strife and providing or supplying the mercenaries with not only the training but also the weapons. Those countries are against peace, are against security, are against stability, and this not just go like that en passant, as the French are saying.
Well, you are right, and maybe you will notice that the level of the, let us say, the Turkish participation in this conference, it is not on the presidential level. and this will mean that the Turkish government and the Turkish, let us say, authorities still adamant and still looking to Libya as part of their ambitions in the region, and they will not comply with the fulfillment, or let us say, the results of the Paris conference, and this, of course, should trigger a firm reaction from the international community against Turkey.
Sir, I should seize this opportunity that you were kindly with us via phone and speak about the strategic dialogue which took place between Washington and Cairo with Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and his American counterpart Blinken, and they talk in specific, among of course other issues, about the Libyan issue, and they had they had a joint vision regarding this and focusing on the importance of exiting all the mercenaries and all the militias out of the Libyan soil, in addition to a very important phone call which took place between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the President of the Libyan Presidential Council, El-Menfi, just less than 48 hours ago. How do you see the Egyptian efforts and contacts, not only to show support to the Libyan people and the Libyan authority in the regional and international arenas, but also to have a common vision with other world powers for the best interest of the Libyans?
Well, I think I can tell you that the Egyptian efforts recently took different dimensions. As you just mentioned, we had a very profound talks in Washington between the two foreign ministers. And as you just said, also the common ground on the Libyan situation was very clear. And the Lady Vice President of the United States is actually participating today in the Paris conference, which has a sort of significance that the United States paying a lot of attention to the results of this Paris conference. And I think the Egyptian views always, respected and valued by different countries, and I'm sure that our role will be pivotal in this conference, and I'm sure also that the results maybe will match the Egyptian views in different points. And the most important thing, how we implement and guarantee that these results will be on the ground, and every let us say, groups will respect the desire of the international community to have a final solution to this crisis. I think this will be the most critical question, and I think we should also try to draw a sort of a mechanism how we can observe the situation on the ground there. And
this was my coming question, sir, regarding the mechanism on the ground. Do you think that this conference in specific is going to result in a mechanism which will be adopted on the ground for the best interest of the Libyan people, with the participation of all those world powers or all those leaders who are already there, who were keen to go to Paris upon the invitation of Emmanuel Macron, the French leader, and of course co-hosted by the gathering is co-hosted by Germany and Italy? This is what we do expect, or it's a little bit early to say that?
I should be frank with you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a little bit early, to see a sort of determination from the international community and a sort of, direct policies towards the countries whom are going to put obstacles or to create challenges in front of any political solution. I think it is a little bit early, and unfortunately, we always late. I mean, the international community, not Egypt. The international community always late, and maybe even, not firm in taking positions in order to implement certain plans to secure order and peace in different crises in the Middle East.
One final question, sir, regarding the Libyans this time. I mean, we are speaking about the world powers, about the neighboring countries, about the bodies like the African Union and the Arab League, and how much all these sides should unify on one word, how to support Libya in this very critical period, but the Libyans themselves. How do you see the duties of the Libyans themselves? I mean, just to guarantee that they are also one hand, that they are far from sectarian strife, far from tribal strife, and to be just to take into consideration that the best interests of the country itself is more important, and the thing which they should put in front of themselves, far from any personal interest.
Well, I think the Libyan leaders and institutions should bear the full responsibility for any failure in the next months, because I think they should curb their personal ambitions and try to look to the Libyan interests and to the people of Libya, how they can enjoy a stable society and stable environment in order to look to the development of their countries. So yes, it is not just the responsibility of the international community, but also the responsibility of the Libyan institutions and the Libyan leaders, and they should put in mind the interest of the people more than the interest of themselves.
Yeah. Your Excellency, Ambassador Mohamed Al Oraby, former foreign minister. Sir, you are always an added value to our screen. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. Have a very good afternoon.